Okay, a while back I made a video about how to monitor yourself directly from the Helix Stomp, and I made a mistake, as rightly pointed by somebody in the comment section, because I forgot to mention something, and I will rectify this here. Also want to credit the person that found the solution, which is a guy in the Line 6 forum called Coda Media, which had a better solution than the one I was using myself. So basically this will apply to smaller gigs where your system, your wireless system is wired, not wireless. Bigger gigs usually have more time for sound check. Your system, your in-ear pack will be wireless, and usually you will go wireless to the pedal board as well. So that's, I'm sure there might be a way to do it that way as well, but you might need extra wireless, either senders or so to me this wanted to be more of a solution on the smaller gigs where usually don't have a lot of time. You just rock up, plug things in, and off you go. And I wanted to have some consistency to hear the sounds that I made from the pedal board rather than whatever the sound engineer had in mind. Usually as well, sound engineers tend to put quite a heavy filter on the low end, and I feel that removes quite a lot of sound from the guitar. So basically, the usual way of doing things is that you plug your guitar in the mono input, and you will get the sound out to front of house from the output. This lead will go into usually a DI box. That DI box will go to front of house. You will get a XLR lead back from front of house, what goes into the wired pack, and your in-ear monitors will go into the headphones input of the wired pack. And that's it. Then you either get the sound engineer makes a mix for you, or you get given an app where you have control of all the instruments and your own level. Some apps have a EQ of some description. Usually it's just like a global EQ. But that takes time. Again, as I said, I just wanted to have it turn up, plug in, I hear the sounds that I've made from my pedal board in these smaller gigs. The alternate way of doing this requires for you to add an FX loop at the end of every chain of every preset that you use. So this FX loop will have a send mix, send level, return level, and mix. Okay, so these are the three controls that allow you, once you have plugged things in, as I will tell you in a second, to mix the levels of the track without the guitar and your own level coming from the pedal board. So the way you have to you have to wire things now. You will not use the outputs anymore. You will still plug in the guitar in the input, but you will, because of the FX send now, your signal will come out of the send, and you will send the signal from the send to the front of house. Okay. And you will now plug whatever comes out. Obviously, the front of house will still give you an XLR into a wired box, and now you will have to use a little lead to plug the headphones out. Now you will basically plug in the output of your wired pack into the return with an adapter, of course. You can make yourself a lead. This is just to show you how the system works. You will plug this in. Obviously, remember that now this will pretty much be in mono. Okay. So unless you can probably, I've not tried the stereo version of this in my work as well. That's something I will leave with you to experiment with. Now, obviously, the send will be the level that you send to the front of house. The return will be the level of the track. But the trick here is to put the mix level to 50%. Okay, if I can do that, perfect. And this is a starting point. Of course, remember that the return now is set to just a regular return. It's not set to aux in. It's just set as return. So Now, my in-ear, again, with an extension, obviously in this case, I'm not using it right now, but it will need an extension, will go into the headphones, and you will be monitoring yourself. You know, your in-ears are going to go in there, and you're going to monitor yourself directly from your unit. So you will be hearing the sound coming from the unit, and this mix will be the mix of the sound coming from your unit, meaning the guitar, plus the mix coming from front of house. Obviously, remove the guitar from the mix coming from the front of house. Just ask either engineer to do that or do yourself through the app. So now this is where the magic happens. You will be basically mixing the level of your guitar with the level of the backing tracks. Let's call it that way. You know, the band mix. Okay, so you will find eventually a good level between the two. Obviously, once you're the sound engineer has set your your level, do not touch the send level, because obviously that will impact how much gain you send to front of house, unless the sound engineer wants more or less signal. Of course, these are some limitations. This works again if you have a simple setup where you use. I tend to use these effects as a pedal board, so I will have one preset and I will pretty much just use that. Okay, where if you do it this way, you will have to change the preset. If you have multiple presets, so you have to go through up and down the different presets, you will have to do this on every preset. This only works in mono, and a block obviously is taken up by that effects loop. As I said, this to me is a quick way to do to monitor yourself with the sounds that you made directly from the unit. In small gigs like corporate gigs, whatever you call them, wherever you live, top 40 club gigs or whatever, where you turn up, there's no amp. And this is quite handy in big cities where, say, when I literally, like last Saturday, I did a gig on the other side of London from where I live, and I just jumped on the tube with this and a guitar. On the other, obviously, in the gig, there was a sound engineer, and this is what I did. Okay, as I said, this is a starting point, and you should be able to experiment from here on to see if you can adjust to your needs. This might work in stereo if you look into it, but again, as I said, I thought I would make a little video about this to start the conversation, so to speak. There you go. Bye bye.